Okay, thank you so much for spending time in this very interesting discussion. So now we will discuss about the pros and cons about omnibus law that will be brought by Ms. Fitri. And before we start the discussion, I would like to explain some rules in this discussion usually. Wait. Okay. The first thing, just be inactive in the discussion and deliver your ideas. The moderator will able to cut your statement or give you allowance to all of you guys, and you should follow his or her suggestion. When he doesn't let you to speak up, you should be quiet. And before you can speak up, you should raise your hand. I assume all of us now understand how to raise up hand in this Zoom meeting. Through participant tombol, just push it, then push the button of raise hand. And mute your microphone at all while moderator will tell her material and enjoy the discussion. Okay, now I give the time to Ms. Fitri for bring the topics about pros and cons of omnibus law. And I will share the screen share about it. Okay, time's yours.
Oke, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? I hope you are fantastic. So do I. First of all, I would like to say thanks for all the participants who joined this routine discussion. In this good occasion, let me introduce myself. My name is Fitri as the moderator in this awesome discussion. Well, have you ever heard about omnibus bill? Is there anyone? Omnibus bill is a proposed law that covers a number of diverse or unrelated topics. Do you know recently phenomenon happened in Indonesia? Yeah, that phenomenon brought a large demonstration to the government. Okay, yeah, it will be our topic discussion tonight. It's about omnibus law, and tonight we will talk about the pros and cons of omnibus law. Next slide, please. Mr. Aji, next slide, please.
Yes, I have, but I don't know the signal. This or next again?
Next slide.
Okay. This one?
No, the next slide.
This?
In here, still the first slide.
Or the first slide? Introduction to omnibus law.
G, you still use enable editing. You have to change. You have to click.
Repeat again, Bo.
I see in the screen you haven't pushed the enable editing. So it's the reason that the slides cannot move.
Okay.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Tonight, I will divide these topics into 4 sessions. First, next slide. No,
Yes, yes,
the
yes.
second slide.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, this. Thank you. I will divide these topics into 4 sessions. First, we will discuss about introduction to Omnibus Law, and the second is Omnibus Law in Indonesia, and the third is the advantages of Omnibus Law in Indonesia, and the last is the disadvantage of Omnibus Law in Indonesia. Next slide, please. Next slide. First, I will explain about the introduction to Omnibus Law. Omnibus comes from the Latin word omnis, which means all. If related to the concept of law in the Black Law Dictionary, the omnibus means numerous objects or items at once, many things or having various purposes. Likewise, in Clark and Cornell, the Omnibus Law patches together several measures into one or combines different subjects into a single law. The various meanings of the omnibus can be understood as a stationary regulation that is made to target a major issue that can revoke or change several laws at once to be simple. So about this explanation, anybody want to give an opinion about omnibus law? Maybe Mr. Aji want to give explanation or opinion about what is omnibus law?
Oh yeah. Okay. Because this is in introduction, maybe just likely you want to explain about the omnibus law. For me personally, omnibus law is kind of the regulation that contains in all the various of regulations that like allowing the destruction of the environment, legitimizing the exploitation of workers, and a lot of regulation which is in the broader name is the regulation. So for me, before we're talking about the advantages and disadvantages, when we look at the description like this, yeah, we know that this bill includes all of the things in the other sectors to be one part, right? But uh, maybe I just want to tell a bit now before maybe the other will elaborate about this. It is suicide to our country because that bills contains something which is so dirty. It's not only how that bills was being processed, but also what kind of the inputs are possible that will come to our life in every day. So of course behind this there are several people who have an advantage. Even when we look at the regulator itself in the legislative assembly and also in the palace and presidents and his staffs, they don't really put any attention because this bill is changed over time, maybe from 1,084 bills to 900 now, 800 and so on and so forth. But despite all of that, I presume that omnibus bill it should be like what? It should be illegal in the mainstream understanding in all of the approaches in constitutional law and so on and so forth. It should be illegal for me. Maybe that's my brief introductory.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Aji, about the opinion about omnibus law. Maybe anybody, the others want to give the opinion about omnibus law. I will choose Mr. Wahyuni Salatan. please give the opinion about omnibus law. Hello, Mr.
Voice click.
Wahyuni. Oh, yeah, Miss Wahyuni Selatan.
Okay. I think this information that have displayed in the screen is already described regarding the definition of omnibus law. I mean, there is no debate regarding this one, and yeah, for I mean, the question is about the definition, right? The introduction, or any other question?
If I say about omnibus law, what do you think about that? Have you ever know before about omnibus law in general, not in Indonesia? Okay.
All right, all right. Okay, in Indonesia, actually, for omnibus law, actually it's not a new regulation in this word. It is a common one. As you mentioned in your display that it can, I mean, like it can save the others related regulations, and it is it's quite important since yeah, it influences many things and as the one that higher than the other regulations. So, but in our country, it's still debatable. Uh, Importantly, in how our government enact this regulation, it's in hurry and I mean like it's they face this one like something that it's not necessary for us. It's not have considerable or strong effect in our life. But actually it's quite vital for us. So in my view, it's so interesting for us to discuss about this one. Yeah, that's all from me.
Thank you so much, Miss Wahyuni Selatan. Uh, let's continue the next topic. Please, the next slide.
Can I ask a question? Okay, actually, my question is, does Indonesia have a constitution managed to make this kind of omnibus law? Because I'm not a law person. I didn't study law when I was in college, but I just want to make it clear because as far as I'm concerned, there is no specific constitution that says Indonesia is able to make this kind of law, uh, in which law, as you mentioned before, would like to manage many kinds of laws from various parts. In my viewpoint, as far as I'm concerned, there is no such constitution. If we can see in the constitution in 2011. However, why? Now, it means that it is kind of unconstitutional when the government does or finishes this law because it was not cited in our constitution. So why does government finish this? I think it has something to do with with like political dowry, in which in 2019 some politicians spent a lot of money to go to the parliament, go to the government, and so on. So to make their money back, currently they need to produce some institutions that can be useful for them to get their money back from the institutions created by them. Yeah, thank you. Maybe someone can answer and elaborate my questions and statement. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Angga, for the question. Is there anyone to give the answer about Mr. Angga's question? Maybe Miss Selamawarti can give the opinion to answer the question from Mr. Angga Kusuma. Okay, Miss Wahyuni. Miss Wahyuni.
Okay, hello.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm not really focused actually. What is the something that the question? I mean,
Mr. Angga, please reply the question because Miss Miss Wahyuni cannot.
oh,
No.
all right.
Okay, it'll be good if the person from law who can answer this question, because it's like
Yes.
kind of low answer.
Yeah, familiar.
But if you guys can answer it, yeah, it's okay.
Yeah, I agree, since I'm not really understand about this one. I mean, about the root of the regulation in our country. Yeah, perhaps the other person can answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Miss Wahyuni. Because Miss Wahyuni cannot answer the question, maybe anyone will help Miss Wahyuni to answer the question from Mr. Angga. Miss Dewi Rizka. Hello, Miss Dewi Rizka. Because Miss Dewi Rizka.
Can I, for a bit, maybe when the other have any idea of this, they can spread their knowledge, their explanation about Angga's question. But when there is no one, maybe we can save it, we can discuss it later. But maybe for short, I have just an insight back then when I was learning about political books back then. In the current situation, I mean the urgent situation, presidents, when we are using presidential, presidential system, president can take control in all of the things, including like issues, omnibus law. It was uh, it was presented back then, like an example in US, in the Green New Deal back then, in 1930s, in the Great Depression, because they're so urgent for issuing a deal that can revive the economy and so forth. And also in constitution, maybe it could, but the substantial problem is not letting the business for doing the exploitation and doing the wasting resources. To the waste, polluting our environment, stuff like that. But the origin is our substantial problem now is health, is about the income of people. When the law is substantial for providing a guaranteed jobs, for providing a healthcare free for all, for providing a research that can fascinate all the people in Indonesia, I sure, and most of people will agree, whatever the against of, not following the constitution, creating the new wave, issuing the new regulation, which is outside out of the box. It could be received as a main constitutional law, but for legalizing the omnibus bill like this, which is so controversial today. Sure, and maybe a lot of pundits in law, they disagree with this issuing of this bill. But for the basis understanding, which laws, which regulation that explain about the urgency, maybe anyone who have understand about this can spread the idea about this. Maybe that's my short. You can continue also your presentation after this, and while we keep this as a question for next discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Aji. So let's continue to tell about the presentation. Please the next slide. This is about the countries that implemented Omnibus Law. First is Canada. In Canada, Canada implemented Omnibus Law to implement international trade agreement. And then Philippines. In case in Philippines, the concepts of Omnibus Law are similar with in Indonesia. It's about infestation sector. And the third country is Turkey, fourth is New Zealand, and so many more. The next slide. This is about Omnibus Law in Indonesia. President Joko Widodo explained that Omnibus Law is one of the goals is to boost Indonesian economic and become world fifth largest economy. According to Professor of FEB Universitas Brawijaya (UB), Prof. Dr. Chandra Fajri Ananda, said that there are too many laws that eventually hinder in Indonesia. Second, regional autonomy applies in Indonesia. Regions have the authority to make laws on some topic. For example, labor wage vary. The Omnibus Law is the strategy of regulatory reform so that the agreements are done all at once against many regulations. Everything will refer to the central government regulation. Theoretically, the Omnibus Law is good for the interests of entrepreneurs or industry. But labor is a bit tough because it removes the comfort zone. There are several areas that are disadvantaged and benefited. For the sake of the regional regulation, there must be a reason. This reason is omitted by the Omnibus Law, effective or not, depending on the local government approach. Next slide, please. The purpose of Omnibus Law in Indonesia. The purpose first is to face the overregulation in the economic and business sector, which hampering the growth of investment climate in Indonesia. Second, to stimulate the economic growth by creating new jobs and increase the ease of doing business ranking. And the last is the goal of the Omnibus Law is to improve and elevate Indonesia from the middle income trap. Indonesia can become an efficient country, has simple regulation, and gives people the opportunity to do business easily, said Sri Mulyani. After we read this topic, anybody want to give the opinion about the purpose or the others about Omnibus Law in Indonesia?
Ahmad Abida has already raised his hand.
Okay. Maybe Mr. Ahmad Fatullah will give the opinion about the purpose of Omnibus Law in Indonesia, or about Omnibus Law in Indonesia.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Moderator, for moderate us in this discussion. Here, because I'm a kind of person who has a stupid idea related to the law in Indonesia regarding the situation that I'm not a law student or maybe a politics student. I mean, the politics science students or the international relationship students. So maybe my idea is a stupid idea. So don't hear me because I'm here is just for practicing my English. And then related to the omnibus law itself, something that I want to emphasize besides the purpose or maybe the subject itself, it's related to the way and the situation of our government or our nation. The first it is related to the way. I mean, some people said that this rule or this regulation is created without well communication to the people. Until this recent time, we haven't heard or maybe we haven't seen the real regulation in the in the reality. I mean, when we access our parliament website, we cannot see this object. So I think the way of our government created maybe slightly hard to accept it by our people. And then it's related to the situation. Normally, as an organization, when I am positioned as the leader, normally I will create a new rule or a new regulation. Why? Because I want to make a new, I mean, I want to make something new in my organization. I want to make an advancement, an improvement for my organization. So the first thing is I will amend the previous regulation and I create a new one to support my uh, policy in the future in the midst of my um, period of my leadership. So I think omnibus law is something normal to be done of for our government in the term of organizational institution, in my opinion, because I'm a stupid student here. And then it's related to the purposes. I don't have a well perspective in the economics or in the business regarding the situation that now I am a labor in a factory. So in my opinion, the way of our government see the people should be focused on the entrepreneurial object rather than to be the labor. So our government wanna push our people to be entrepreneur rather than the labor. That is something that I see in the terms of economic. But something that maybe we forget is it's related to the land reformation maybe, or maybe since related to the uh, what environment. But yeah, as far so far I haven't read the whole of this institution, but maybe we can discuss it further better. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ahmad Fatullah. In your answer, I can conclude that you are in first, first, in first position about the pro or contra in omnibus law. Like that, Mr. Ahmad Fatullah.
Um, I haven't decided which position that I give to see from this institution because I'm a stupid student and then I haven't seen the whole of this institution. I mean, I haven't seen the real of this omnibus law. So I cannot decide which position that I will choose. Will I be the negative or will I be the positive? And I say a huge apology that I come here late. So maybe I will hear the other perspective firstly. So I will decide which position that I will be I will choose. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad, for the law. I have Puta. And maybe anybody want to give the opinion about omnibus law in Indonesia. Maybe
Can I?
Mr. Aji want to give the opinion?
Yes,
But
I want to
the
give it. Okay, we're going to the core problem of omnibus law. Okay, I'm as economist. I've seen that investment. We want to talking about investment, foreign direct investment that comes for abroad to Indonesia using dollar and so forth, and then sucking up again the profit after that. Okay, I want to explain a bit about foreign direct investment. Foreign direct investment is not good at all to improve, to enhance, to develop our country. It's not good at all. Because when they're investing their money to our country, usually they just buy some stocks from the government, from the firms, that IPO, you know. When the firm is not in the sector oriented, so in the end of it, so the profits, I mean, they are short term gaining profits. So in the end of it, they just sucking up the dividends to abroad again in twice as much as they have invested. So foreign direct investment is not good at all to our country. That's the first principle. The second, okay, creating the new jobs, we should not rely on private sectors, because when we rely on private sectors while we are giving, as a government, we are giving a stimulus, pumping into them to absorb the more resources, I mean, labor, they will not able to purchase all of the labor in Indonesia because they need efficiency. They are profit seeking oriented. So other than that, we should create as a government, means is said employer of last resort, that's called job guarantee, to achieve full employment. So in the situation, when we are in the boom of economy, the job guarantee pool will be shrinking because most of people will be absorbed to the private sectors. But when in the recession, they will absorb the labor, wasting labor to the JG pool, job guarantee pool. It is not causing inflation because the job guarantee also is doing the targeted outputs that the worker should do. For example, rainforest, using community works and so on and so forth. We can still create an output. And to alleviate the poverty, a lot of research in the job guarantee proposal in India, also in Argentina, had clearly defined that job guarantee is the effective way rather than universal basic income, because universal basic income is inflationary because there is no output that appear in that program. And the goal of the Omnibus Law is to improve, alleviate Indonesia from middle income, and disagree with that. So in macroeconomy, there are 3 points that we should achieve. The first is output, GDP increase. The second is full employment, achieving full employment. The third is about stability. With using the good anchor is not something that has been taught in the universities, mainstream universities in Indonesia. It means that we are using an anchor as employment of our stocks, or called neighbor. So when we are hiring people, when we are printing the money to absorb the unemployment, because we have wasting resources, it's not causing inflation. It's just effective demand to achieve full employment, to achieve maximum output that we can have. So in that situation, of course, our GDP will be increased because the output increased directly, and the full employment automatically full, and also the stability of the economy is stable because it's not causing inflation. Because when we are hiring labor, increasing the supply and also increasing the demand, when that is equal about the output and about the demand, there is no inflation at all. Rather than letting some people being unemployed. For example, the unemployment is 10% in Indonesia now. When we print the money, prompt up them with the money from the government, so whatever the incentive is, will cause inflation when the demand is higher than the output. We still have a gap. We should hire them into the public sectors, not in the private sectors. So creating the law like this for inviting the investment come into our country and enhancing the employment rate, and also want to have a dream to growing up outside of the middle class trap is totally wonky at all, in my opinion. So we should not to be this way, because in the long term we will have a deterioration in our growth of economy, in our sustainability, and also in our community lives, because this is will have a tendency to exploit the labor. Maybe that's my short opinion first. I give you back, Ms. Fitri.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Aji, for the very complete argument. Maybe maybe the others one will give the opinion about uh, pages about omnibus law in Indonesia. Maybe Mr. Ahmad Fotullah will give feedback about this.
What? Me again? Why don't you
Yeah.
choose the other people?
I see
Angga
that
has already seen. Angga has already raised his hand.
Okay.
What? Oh, Angga, Mr. Angga.
Angga.
Can Mr. Angga please?
Okay, I'm actually a layman here. I'm an ordinary person also, as Ahmad, Mr. Pitra. So as far as I'm concerned, can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, okay, sorry. As far as I know, regarding the investment in Indonesia, so actually we are head and shoulders above many big countries in the world. Like we are above China, South Asia. Even regarding investment, we are the highest one in the Southeast Asia, right? Even in the world, we are in the Jokowi's era right now. We have a good thing in investment. We are in top 20 in the world regarding our investment. That is to say, investment in Indonesia doesn't have any problem, right? So when the government creates things and create omnibus law as a result of investment, I think it doesn't have relation, because the investment in Indonesia is still good, even the best, one of the best countries in the world regarding investment. Um, and furthermore, regarding stimulating economic growth, I don't know, it is still a problem in Indonesia, because we, as a country, or even as government, our government has a tendency to, make the similarity between economic growth and the prosperity. Because as far as I'm concerned, what so-called economic growth requires the the building of many companies in the villages, and displacing many forests and others. So that's why it doesn't have something to do with the improvement if the economic growth need to displace many villagers, many forests, and so on. Since as you can see that in the Jokowi's era back then, there were many agrarian conflicts due to his development about economic growth, and it made many people from many villages forced to move to the city to be workers, because most of them beforehand were farmers, and they worked in the village. However, due to the emergence of companies in their village, they willy-nilly needed to move to the big cities and became the unemployment people, needing to have a job, right? So therefore, I could say that between economic growth and prosperity doesn't have big relation in Indonesia. So when we have two reasons of creating omnibus law to enhance the investment, enhance the economic growth, to the prosperity of the people, I think it doesn't have any relation, and it's nonsense. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Angga. So, may I know if I say that where is your standing position? You just pros or cons if in Indonesia implement the omnibus law?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, of
yeah.
course. I'm in the opposite position of omnibus law because actually I rejected the omnibus law since the beginning because it didn't take many attentions to the people's voice. Therefore, I rejected this law. Yeah, to be honest, there are many academicians, lecturers who reject this law also. So when someone says that you are trapped by hoax, so yeah, it's nonsense because many lecturers, many teachers even disagree with this law. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Angga. Who will give the opinion about this? Maybe Mr. Kak Mail. Kak Mail, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear perfectly. Thank you. So thank you for for shooting me. I just arrived and suddenly you point me out to give a welcome speech. Thank you. So this time I'm siding with those who believe that omnibus law is something really necessary for Indonesia right now. Despite knowing very well that our country is a developing country, yeah, and we know that the citizens of Indonesia is hard to rule, yeah, they have a less awareness to comply with regulations set up by the government, and that's why it's a long way to bring Indonesia to become more developed country. And for that, I believe that omnibus law, despite being rejected and despite becoming something so controversial for everyone to believe that this is something good, I believe that this is something necessary. Because, I'm in line with those who say that ikan hiu makan tomat, yeah. Because so far, our citizens, I can judge and I can perceive that they still unable to fully grasp the bigger picture behind the implementations of this rule. Okay, probably we see, we know that so many informations spreading in social media, believing that not only us as a part of society, but also those who impose or enacting some laws didn't really understand the laws itself. Yeah, but I believe it takes courage and a little bit how to say nekat, yeah, Okay, I don't know how to say nekat in English. Determinant, maybe, yeah. Determined to set up this law. Crazy. Crazy is not neck. If bonek, bondo nekat, it's bondo crazy. No, no, I think it's not. It doesn't match. Okay. Okay, even though I'm not persebaya, yeah, but I believe that it is not. It's not proper. Okay, yeah. So that is why I briefly say that it is necessary to support the government for now. We can just pray for the best and did our best, yeah, to support the governments and try to reduce what's worst impact that might happen in the future. I mean, like, yeah, there are so many refutations from the society, but how we can actually propose a better recommendation, probably we can modify something. Yeah, okay, okay, you can just set it up and make it come true as a law of Indonesia, but we can try to, propose some modifications that can suit our condition the best. Okay, yeah, so in general, we reject, but in more specific way, yeah, we can try to make it more flexible and dynamic toward our demands and necessity. I think that's fun. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mail, for the opinion. Is there anyone to debate or agree with Mr. Mail opinion? Maybe who wants to give the opinion? Maybe Miss Selamawarti. Miss Selamawarti. Because Miss Selamawarti cannot answer, so maybe Mr. Joe John Republic. Please. Hello.
Hello, okay. Check. Hello. There is no sound here.
Hi.
Yes, your voice
Yeah,
can
we
be
Can
heard.
hear you.
we can hear you.
Oh,
We can hear
sorry.
you.
We can hear you
That's all right.
clearly, sir.
Yeah. Okay. What is about omnibus law? Then, okay, I just give some another opinion. It's my opinion about the question before about introduction to omnibus law. Yeah, it can be. I don't really understand for omnibus law or something that correlated with omnibus law because yeah, I ever study about law in my university before, but what is it can be new idea or new topic because if we back to our history when after Indonesia getting independence day at the time and we still use what is system that it's come from Netherlands system at the time and we follow for European theory at the time, but sometimes we also use the Anglo-Saxon theory, like us the United States use. And then, yeah, of course, as a student law at the time, and yeah, we never discuss about what is about the law that become the omnibus because it can be some way or some method that many constitution or maybe many law make into one new constitution. But yeah, if the context is about codification about the law, yeah, it can be something rather bit easier to learn or to understand about the law itself. But if I back to what is the information for that, we know from omnibus law itself in Indonesia for the practically after what is after getting what is legal from the parliament, and then yeah, we see that this is 70 70 or 74 new law. Sorry, 74. Yeah, sorry, 70 until 74 law, and what is make to be one big rule to be omnibus law. I think it can be something really hard because for 74 and then just make to be the one. I think it's so hard. And then yeah, we know that what is based on our culture itself. Then sometime for the one law itself or one rule, no one or many people in our country, they're still not really understand about that. Then how could it be if 78 or sorry 74 many law of around Indonesia and then make to be in the one, and then it can be make a new problem for our people. And also what is so many what is how to say pasal chapter. There's it can be debatable because many version there. Maybe it can be more than 100 chapter or maybe more than 1,000 chapter. Oh, it can be crazy that. And then I think if we make some omnibus law, but we can just give advice for our parliament that we can start from some law that it's correlated about the economy and the economy and investment, and also giving what is giving guarantee for the labor itself. So we can make some codification that maybe just 3 or 4 or maybe less than 10 and rules, and we can make into one one package, but not to be 70 more than 70 laws and then 70 rules and then create into the one. So it can be hard. And and then back to our final statement before that. I think this is campaign for our leader before that. Uh, one problem then in our country not come from the people but come from the rule. Sometimes the rule is so inefficient, because there are so many interpretation for general people, for ordinary people, and also for the someone who become the practical or maybe from expert from the law itself. And when some problem and people or maybe group of people or maybe the society itself, they can make some class action to do this or to to make some lawsuit into Mahkamah Konstitusi at that time. And then but just only amendment some of the chapter, not the law. Not the just only the chapter, not the all of the law itself. And we know that some expert or maybe some activists or maybe some another practicing about the law itself, they give us some warranty that if we to earlier to make or to legal the omnibus law, we thought consider in without discussion with another people or maybe what is we need to consider before make decision to make this law legal. And then just back to the time, because time will tell what happened in the future. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Jojoni, for the opinion. And then because In the chat box, there is a question from Mr. Angga Kusuma. Ask about Mr. Aji, does Indonesia have a specific role managing to create this omnibus law? I'm just wondering this perspective from law students. So, Mr. Aji, can you answer or give opinion about the question from Mr. Angga? Hello, Mr. Aji.
There are two Aji. Now Mr. Siswaji, come on.
Anybody
Hey,
want to?
I have done. Sorry, because I changed my name.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Someone will answer.
Is there any slide?
Yeah. Maybe I will continue the next slide. Please, the next slide. Okay, this is about the advantage of omnibus law. First, addressing both vertical and horizontal public policy conflicts effectively and efficiently. Second is harmonizing government policies, both at the central and regional levels. Third, simplifying the licensing process, more integrated and effective. Fourth, tweaking the confused jurisprudence, and fifth is improving the coordination between related agencies because it is regulated in integrated policy. And the last is providing guarantees of legal certainty and legal protection for policymakers. Uh, After read this slide, anybody want to give the opinion about the advantage of omnibus law? Maybe, yeah, because this the advantage of omnibus law, it can apply in Indonesia, maybe like that. Anybody want to give the opinion? Because nobody's answer, I will choose someone to.
By the way, Afida has raised his hand. And the next Kak Mayo also. Maybe you can choose Afida first and then Mayo.
Okay, this Miss Afida. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for calling me as Miss. And then, yeah, I say a huge welcome to Mr. Mail. I can see you're here. And welcome to Mr. Hudori. You are so tidy. And then, yeah, firstly, I cannot answer the question from Mr. Angga Kusuma because, yeah, I don't know. I don't know exactly. Is it appropriate or is it obey our institution? I mean, our undang-undang. How to say undang-undang in English, or not to create omnibus law? And then, but some people said that it is not obey that rule, but some people said that it is regulated to the other rule, and I don't know actually which one is the truth. But in my opinion, it's normal for government to create a new rule in the preliminary of their period in their leadership period. And then in my opinion, it's not related to how to focus on improving our economic growth, or maybe it's focusing on the investment. But in my opinion, this omnibus law just focus on the mental revolution that mentioned by our governments in the previous period, because something that I see when this rule is appeared, many people said that revolution, revolution, revolution. So I think, is it mental revolution that our government previously promised before? So I think there are so many kind of um, many kind of rule that amend or maybe changed by this omnibus law, and that is directly changed. So it's a rapid change. Rapid change means as the revolution. So I think omnibus law is one kind of revolution. I mean, the mental revolution that mentioned in the previous period. It's just my opinion. Maybe I'm false. Yes, I'm a stupid student. And then um, it's related to the advantage. Well, I cannot because I haven't seen and I haven't read the whole of this institution in the real, and I haven't compared the draft and the rule that has been knocked by our parliament, because I believe that when the draft is discussed by the parliament, there are so many changes. So the proposal from our government will be changed when it is flowed in the discussion in the midst of our parliament. So I think the the academician, when criticize the draft, it would be different when they see the the real institution, which I cannot see now. So because I haven't seen this institution, so I cannot give my position in this discussion. I say a huge apology for it, and because of this circumstance, I cannot say which one is advantageous for our country or which one is give a huge drawbacks for our nation. It's the whole which I can see in this discussion. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Mr. Ahmad Fatullah for the good opinion. And then we will give the next opinion about the advantage of omnibus law. Mm,
Ayo.
Mr. Kudori, can you give us your opinion about omnibus law?
Yeah, I will try to speak up. Actually, I don't know clearly about omnibus law, but as I know that someone claims something, like someone accused against trust. I don't know which is the correct one, but when I law which which makes the socialist is difficult to accept about the right law. But of course, the government wants to make the ease obligation, but we don't know what the government means. But we try to, I mean, the expert or the lawmakers try to make the ease obligation. But of course, because of the research from the discussion, they decided about about they decided about the research at night. Of course, it will be strength for us. Why do they decide it at night? Of course, it will be a big question for us. Somehow, because we don't know about the true law about it, so we try to analyze or we try to correct each other, which is the better for the socialized. Yeah, that's it. I can know because I don't know about the law. Yeah, that's it. Hello, Miss. I'm done for giving the explanation. Hello.
Where is he? Oh, perhaps I will give the time to, before Mr. Mail, I want to hear the voice, the opinion from Mr. Khan first, and then next to Mr. Mail. Mr. Khan? Imran? Mr. Imran? Are you there?
Yes, Mr. Aji.
Yes, thanks, yours.
Seems like our moderator is gone.
Yes, lots of signal, I guess.
Okay, see, like I'm not much. I don't know much about this omnibus law, but since last week, I'm listening about it, and like some of my friends posted that the government of India, DRI, Indonesia, has made a new law that affect the jobs like labor, so they won't get the paid maternity leave, or they won't get the leave like Idul Adha, Idul Fitri. They won't get that, and also it will affect the salary. Like one of my friend told me, like now she's getting 4 juta salary, and if the omnibus law is implemented, she will get maybe like 1.5 juta or 2 juta. So that's my question for like whoever has knowledge, like what will it affect the salaries of people working, like, and does it affect the people in the government department, like who work in government, like gas sector, or like desa kanto desa, or it will affect the startup also, or normal companies like private companies have their own payment system, have their own salary structure. So will it affect private also, or government both? Plus, like as I see this law, maybe for now in the time of corona, when every country is going through recession, so every country is trying to get some foreigner fund, like like for now India and China having fight because of the corona, so many companies are shifting their trying to shifting their plants from China to other country, and India is trying to acquire them. Like India is also trying, hey, come to India and set up your plants, do business here, we will give you this, we will give you this, we will give you easy investment, cheap land. So I guess Indonesia is doing same. They need money and they're trying to lure the foreigner. Like, hey, come do investment there. We will give you cheap labor and all. We will equalize everything. But somehow I guess it's good. It's implemented good, but it should not, like how to say, like suppress the local people. Like you are giving money to foreigner, it's good. You are helping them to set up business, but you should not suppress your own people here. So like these are the questions in my mind, like how it's gonna affect the people. Are they gonna lose their jobs or salary? So yeah, that's all I wanna ask. Anybody? Done.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Imran. Now your time, Mr. Kamail, with your new hair.
Okay, thank you. In fact, I also am curious to know the statement from Mr. Imran. So otherwise, Mr. Aji didn't ask before. I will ask Mr. Imran to explain or to give opinion about this case after my explanation or my elaboration. So yeah, yeah. In my opinion, the advantages that is. Who is this Vladimir? I don't know about this person, but thank you. Okay, so yeah, in my opinion, the most fundamental advantages that the government wants to obtain by enacting such law is number 4. It means breaking the convoluted bureaucratic chains. Okay, because so far, if the church to build something, want to invest in some investments, they find it hard because they need to fight against the rules. Yeah, and it will only hamper the progress or the advancements of the investments. Okay, so it's going to take longer time and inefficient energy, and also concentrations that need to be poured toward those investments. So yeah, I believe this is really necessary for us to cut, to make an efficient change so that it can fasten the developments that we actually hope to happen in Indonesia. That's something that we can anticipate. Yeah, the demonstration and despite we even though we agree to to let this law be enacted or set up, okay, but we can ask them to figure out what kind of mechanisms that they want to put. For example, if investors want to build something, they need to break some environment space. Okay, so how is the regulations from the governments regarding environment, like AMDAL, the analysis of how to say in English, AMDAL, guys. I don't know, but it's something related to environments. Okay, so you need this permission if you want to erect some buildings, construct some bridge or anything. Okay, environmental impact analysis. Thank you, Mr. Rangga. That's it. So yeah, I mean, like to deter such a calamity or a natural catastrophic. Okay, we need to have this this law. But by removing this law, by having omnibus law above it, it means we need to know what kinds of mechanisms that will be done by the government to anticipate the disaster that's going to happen if we remove the previous law. Okay, so I believe that our society will be able to understand and accept this law if the government would be so open up, to explain everything, not to close or become more transparent in giving more explanation, so that it can be, it's like a two-way communication. The problem is that only one side know and another didn't know about the consequences, and that's why unbalanced information creates havoc, creates such a chaos. Okay, so I think that's my opinion regarding the advantages of omnibus law. Thank you.
Okay, perhaps I'm now gonna cheating one slide more before the moderator will come here with. This is about the disadvantages.
Well,
okay.
Wait. Okay.
Okay, just read it first. And then anyone who wanna give opinion about omnibus law, it could be Indonesia or other countries which applies the same thing about omnibus. You can share your ideas about this. Especially the problems in omnibus law is reducing the wage, pressing the workers, and also erasing the social security, let it privatized, and severance pay and sourcing, so forth. You exactly know the problem of it. Maybe before we're going to discuss in this, I will give the preparation for the next speaker to speak up, who is Miss Tri Puji Arohmah. You want to give your opinion, Miss, about the disadvantages of omnibus law? We know in last weeks there are huge calamity of demonstration which has been oppressed by the postman. Mostly they are workers, and also they are students mostly, that their future is like will have been guaranteed by the government will investor. Mr. Puji Arohmah, are you with me? Okay, perhaps Mr. Vladimir Puter. Vladimir Puter. Hey, Mr. Your name is so funny. Mr. Vladimir, are you with us? Mr. Vladimir? Okay, next. Mr. Sorry, Miss Wahyuni Salatan. Miss Wahyuni?
I'm here.
Okay, what is your opinion about the disadvantages about this bill?
Okay. First and foremost, in Omnibus Law, there are about 11 cluster about penyederhanaan perizinan persyaratan investasi ketenagakerjaan, kemudian pemberdayaan dan perlindungan UMKM dan lain-lain. In my view, I could say that I agree with several clusters, but disagree for the others, such as like yes, for instance about penyederhanaan perizinan, how government try to make to simplize the regulations, despite the fact that the regulation in Indonesia and the actual applications of our regulation. I mean, like I could say that the the regulations become hard for us to follow because the bureaucracy, because the not transparency, not accountable from our government, and also like corruptions and nepotism is it. So in my view, the thing that our government should encounter, should tackle the problems is what that one first, how they enhance our how to say KPK in English, like some like organizations that can help to ensure that to minimize. I mean, what I want to say that the organization, how our government enhance the organization that can minimize or reduce the corruptions. Since I could say that the vital aspects about the perizinan, how to say perizinan in English. Perizinan, yeah.
Permission.
Yeah, about permissions. So for I believe that this law, this new regulation about omnibus law, we need this one. It's necessary for us. I agree with Mr. Mail have said before that this is important for us since we need to we have problems and we need to encounter our problems by simplicity the regulations and attract the investment. Why I'm not really agree with people who say that there is no correlation between growth economy and poverty, since my background is from in industry, so I often meet with something related to realizations, and I realized that we really lack of this one. We really lack of these innovations since we often import the finished product from the other countries. For instance, for the drug, I mean, like for raw materials, pharmaceutical raw materials, for instance, for more specific, we import it 19.5% more than that one. And it's because we don't have the technology. We don't have the one who have some capitals to invest. So we can't done it in our country. Since actually we have the resource to finish that one. But yeah, actually I'm still concerned about that one, and I could say that how our government try to attract the investors to our country is necessary actually, because it can help to reduce the unemployment as well as can and it's related with to balance the amount of consumptions in our country, since the several places. For instance, my hometown, I'm from rural area actually. The gap of some people I mean, the gap from the income of from our people here and the others in more developed districts, it's really big. And yeah, I could say that we still need this one. And okay, I'll bring the other example. For instance, in in East East Borneo, East Kalimantan, how the people, how the district, how the province become more developed because the investors come there. And yes, we know that they invest, uh, palm oil, and sometimes it's have a correlation as well with our bad environment. But we can't we can't we can and I mean like we can't deny that the investment bring the poverty to that place. And that's why the other districts try to follow, since we don't have any other options. And I mean like not the other options, I mean like the easier options for from more developed country to invest in our place. And concerning the
Oh shit! Sorry, I've lost connection for a while. I don't know. My signal is strong, but I don't know. I've lost connection. By the way, this is a bad scenario. Oh wait, I should screen scan. Oh no, it doesn't necessarily. In bad scenario, all of you guys should represent your standing position now. You disagree or not? If you disagree, and what is your reason about that? Before that, I will point out of every one of you 3 minutes to explain your standing position and your reason. I would like to start for Mr. Mail first.
Okay, so it's kind of writing IELTS task 1, so or speaking part 3. Okay, personally, I can say that I'm in a balance of this law, and in another time I can disagree. Okay, I will only agree to this law if the governments can be transparent, can explain toward the society, even though deep inside I know that not everything can be blurred out, not everything can be or should be elaborated by the government. They have like, probably rather than saying they have a bad picture, they try to save the most beneficial impact they want for the sake of Indonesia later, so that not every citizen know about that. Okay, so yeah, the condition is that the government must explain, or at the very least through the academic parties that become the representative of the government can explain with a stance that they have. Okay, I believe that the scientific explanation will be able to convince, and because they have a calculated analysis and they have a considered as the one who expert in this field. And at the same time, I will disagree with this movement or with this law enactment if the government unable to satisfy. I mean, like, okay, everyone want to be satisfied by the governments. Our citizens has their own demand, and of course, as a single system, a government will be, unable to comply with every demand or every request from the society. So I can say that I will disagree with the government if the government is with further mechanism and because so far it does not mean that I distrust our government right now, but because when we look at the history track of how our government handle so many matters in Indonesia, I can say that it is so far less from satisfaction, and that's why it's a little bit confusing or perplexing for me, because if the government's able to at least give me some factual proof that they can manage something very well, okay, then, like, for example, it's a good example of how our government still the best side. I think that's the conclusions for me. I can agree or disagree based on the two reasons. Okay. Up. There's still seconds left.
Okay, agree for some accent. So
Raj is still
interesting. Still connecting. I don't know. My connection is shit. Okay, now Mr. Imran first. Time is yours.
Thank you.
Well, I need to talk about Park. I don't know.
I mean, your position. Oh yeah, you're in a different place. But I mean, what is your position about regarding to this omnibus law? It can be you're imagining yourself as an investor that want to invest your money here, and so on and so on. So, what is your standing position?
I guess it's like lockdown for now. Like when the corona was starting, government suddenly said like today, from tomorrow it will be lockdown, and now people panic because they don't know how they're gonna get food, they're gonna get work, they're gonna get same like that. Government made a law that now we will have one law for everything, and now people are panicking because they don't have the full information, as Mr. Kak may say, like how it's gonna affect the nature of the land, and if they like gonna give the land for the foreigners for making factories or anything. So where the land will come from? Will they destroy the forest, or they have the other land, already saturated from that? So people need those answers, and the government should come up with all those answers, like do something publicly, radio, anything, like, hey, this is the omnibus law, we will have this. So don't people and they're going to the roads and doing demo. So they need information. So government need to come up with all the information, how it's going to implement it, how it's going to affect the jobs, the wages, how it's how it people know it's going to benefit the country, it's going to benefit the economy, it will benefit the foreign investment. But people care about themselves, how it will benefit me, the local people, how I'm going to be benefited. So they need those answers, and the government should come up with those answers as soon possible, as the hawks will keep continuing, be it online or on the roads, and that's all. Thank you.
Thank you for your nice opinion. Now, Mr. Arteria, he is a member of Legislative Assembly. Mr. Arteria, time is yours.
Is it mine, but
What?
Okay. Oh no. Probably my connection is unstable. I'm sorry.
Or maybe Mr. Arya just want to listen the opinion of public. Okay. Okay, now Ms. Wahyuni, time is your 3 minutes.
Okay. Well, actually, I'm confused with this regulation, since I can't bring my my exact position actually, since this is still produce a lot of weakness and a lot of detrimental effects for us actually of this law, and as well as I mean, in the other point of view, this regulation also brings some hope for some people, especially for those who play in entrepreneur or business aspects, since it also can simplify the law from uh, UMKM, and yeah, I think it can helps a lot. And if I have to stand, I will agree with this one, uh, but but again, the it's a long way actually to go with this regulation. It is a good thing. It is a good innovations, but as many problems also will happen, and many problems should prepare. I mean, like they should calculate it and mitigate the risk before they announce and they enact these regulations. All in all, I'm agree, and especially for some clusters or some how to say, yeah, for some clusters the potential to bring more problems like corruptions, like yeah, the thing that will have a harmful effect with us. I could say it should be postponed, or perhaps it should be stopped. And the other one that can help us to boost our economy, especially in this economic conditions, I could say that it is a good one. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, very well. Now, this is the last slide from his presentation. Now, I want to point out, Angga, what's your standing position, Angga?
Can you repeat the previous slide? Well, frankly speaking, it's too hard to me to agree with this law actually, because I once read before the mostly the draftmen, someone who created this law, were from the businessmen. So as I could say that it could give beneficial impacts on businessmen and other bureaucrats and so on. However, the workers, the peasants, and others are going not to be benefited from this kind of law, because their voice were actually not taken beforehand. Therefore, right now they are protesting, even from the beginning until nowadays. In my viewpoint, it is better to government to focus on tackling the problem created by COVID-19. It is a good time to be to government to focus on health issues rather than this kind of rule, because as long as people are busy with this disease, government made this law in secret, in while many people cannot do protest and so on. Therefore, it's like it's hard to me to agree with this kind of law, while many people still disagree about this law. It's not only workers, peasants, but also academicians, professors also disagree with this kind of law, because the process of making it is so limited. I mean, many people couldn't voice their sound. I mean, their opinions and so on. Regarding the essential things in this law, I could say that especially I do agree with the investment, with the building, as long as it doesn't harm people in the infected areas. However, with this kind of law, people in infected people in the specific areas who would like to be built by companies, their voice um, has been decreased by this law. For example, the environmental impact analysis has eased by this law, and people who protest the building of the companies in their areas will have a tendency to be jailed by the governments and by the companies and so on. Hence, it's kind of difficult to me again to agree with this kind of law. I until now actually support the movements created by the grassroots societies, which are workers, peasants, and fishermen, and so on. I'm probably one of them. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, perhaps I have the same question like you, guys. But I couldn't say it because I'm moderator now. Now the time to Mr. Johnny River Plate. Time is yours, Mr. Johnny. Mr. Raji, actually.
Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, actually, if the government makes some new rule that it can give a positive impact for our people, I do really agree and I do support the government. But if next, I don't know, because so many people, afraid about this new rule about omnibus law, because you know that during making this law, there are so many hidden secret, and then the people or the society cannot access about this law, and there is not so many draft during this process, and yeah, just government say this is hoax, and when some activists say, so where is the real draft, and our government didn't give what is the real draft to the other, so we can discuss it together. So I think it can be some do you know how to say, not black, hidden, something hidden secret, or secret program or secret purpose for the government, or maybe for the people behind the government, or we can say this is for the invisible hand that it can control the government itself. So I hope for the society can give force, give everything, maybe make some demonstration, but just use demonstration in following the procedure. But if the demonstration make some chaotic, and then I don't agree about this one. Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you so much. Now come to our excellences, the President of USSR, Mr. Vladimir Putin. Time is yours. Mr. President, may you wanna speak? Mr. Vladimir Putin.
Hi, hello.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, Assalamualaikum. Regarding this particular law, which is omnibus law, I still couldn't agree with this law, this particular law, especially. And I think there are so many things went on during the making of this omnibus law. Frankly speaking, of how this how this law, how can the government came about with this omnibus law. So many things went on in discreet way. So they try to bring this up and try to create something that is really beneficial to just some particular just not really good for the nationwide, for the citizen. And then this last 2 weeks, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've been listening to this TV, what's been on TV this last 2 weeks. There are so many people stand against this law, and as far as I'm concerned, I'm still I still have to study further about this if I want to talk about this. But so far, I would say I couldn't agree with this law for now because this is uh, they try to put this out in such a hasty, in still looks like they really rush on it, and yeah, for now I would say I still couldn't agree with this, so I would stand against it. Well, I think that is all from me. Thank you very much for the time. So from but this is a good discussion for me actually, and I would love to be all ears until the end of this discussion. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Barat Vladimir Tama. Thank you so much. And now the last time is you, Mr. Kudori. The time is yours.
Okay, I watch station with the vice of the parliament, that the vice of parliament said that he doesn't know when he decided about a lawmaker about law, but make someone heard about it. Yeah, for me, actually, I'm balanced with the man decided at night. So, but we don't know what the government means. Maybe it will ease about the rules. It will be ease about the regulation. But somehow it enacts when the parliament transparent to decide about the new rules or new law. Because democracy, democracy, government, democracy countries, of course, this countries and people will about the unfair litigation. Yeah, that's it that I can give to you.
Okay, we are going to last of our discussion. What I want to say actually. Okay, you can take your own path to do in reformist way or in revolutionist way. It doesn't matter as long we have the same purpose: how to create this extractive government to be more inclusive in the future. Okay, by the time it is the last of our discussion, I want to share some vocabularies that we've been using this time. It's kind of interesting. Political boundary, moral politic. hamper, obstruct, detain, hold up, choke, tremble. How about head and shoulder? It means a lot better. It's a slang, right? Reckless, nekat, reckless. Okay, and then subsection, article, clause, pasal. Convoluted, subcomplete, and difficult to follow. Is that correct, Mr. Sani? Okay, and then enactment, lex, law, undang-undang, permission, perizinan. Maybe that's all. It's interesting discussion today. While I'm the last who was being moderator. Before we end this discussion, let's take a picture, close up. Open your camera, and I will unmute all of you guys because in the end of it, I want to say hello Ota, and you should say yesterday, said tomorrow. Okay, please open your camera, guys. I want to take a picture. Please open your camera. Okay. Yeah, not suitable place. Oh, I know. Okay. It's your privacy. Doesn't matter. Come on, guys. Okay, good. Arteria. Is Arteria? Is really Arteria or not? Miss Uni? Okay. I want to cut it on 1, 2, 3 and set up your interesting pose. 1, 2, 3. Okay, again, free pose. Okay, I couldn't. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the last we say, hello, Ta. Come on, unmute. Okay. Okay, see you tomorrow. Okay, see you in the next week, guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.